In 2087, Earth faces an invasion unlike anything in its history. The Zeltrons, a highly advanced alien species, descend from the skies with massive warships, each armed with impenetrable energy shields and devastating weaponry capable of wiping out entire cities in seconds. Their technology is far beyond anything humanity has ever encountered, and their military strategy is flawless. Every attempt to resist is anticipated and crushed before it even begins. Armies are rendered useless, missiles and explosives bounce harmlessly off their defenses, and human technology is outdated the moment the war starts. Governments collapse under the pressure, communication networks fail, and within weeks, civilization as it was once known ceases to exist. The last survivors retreat into hiding, scattered across underground bunkers, dense forests, and ruined cities, searching for a way to fight back. No weapon on Earth can penetrate the Zeltrons' shields, and every coordinated attack ends in failure. Scientists and military strategists work desperately to find a weakness, but there is none to be found. The Zeltron's strategy is designed for total dominance, leaving no room for mistakes. Their forces operate with machine-like precision, predicting human tactics before they unfold. Each battle is over before it even begins, and with every passing day, the resistance weakens. Humanity is left to watch helplessly as their world is torn apart. The invaders, confident in their superiority, believe their victory is inevitable. What they fail to realize, however, is that their downfall will not come from advanced weapons, military genius, or an unexpected counterattack. It will come from something so small, so primitive, that even the greatest minds in the universe could not have foreseen its power. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, far from the burning cities and crumbling governments, Dr. Elias Carter, a biologist studying the region's ancient plant life, stumbles upon something strange. While documenting the unique properties of a rare tree species, he witnesses something that defies explanation. A small Zeltron scouting drone, hovering low over the forest floor, makes brief contact with a fallen branch. Instantly, the machine convulses, its sleek metallic frame sparking and twitching as if struck by an unseen force. Within moments, the drone crashes into the undergrowth, its once powerful systems completely disabled. Carter, baffled by what he just saw, rushes to examine the wreckage. The drone, which should have been impervious to any known human interference, is completely inoperable. He looks down at the branch the machine had touched, now broken into pieces. His scientific instincts take over, and he carefully collects samples of the wood, carrying them back to his remote research station. Running tests late into the night, he makes a startling discovery: the molecular structure of this particular wood has an unusual effect on the exotic energy field that powers the Zeltron's shields and weapons. When the material comes into contact with their technology, it disrupts their systems, sending them into overload. Carter realizes the significance of his finding. What seemed like a simple accident could be the key to defeating an otherwise unstoppable enemy. He immediately transmits his research to the remnants of Earth's scientific community, hoping someone will listen. At first, the idea is dismissed as impossible. How could something as primitive as wood disable a force that has conquered countless planets? But Carter insists, urging those in the resistance to conduct their own experiments. When additional tests confirm his findings, the information spreads like wildfire. The discovery changes everything. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity has found a weakness in the Zeltron's seemingly perfect military strategy. The question now is how to weaponize it before the invaders realize their fatal flaw. With the discovery of the wood's strange ability to disrupt Zeltron technology, the remnants of humanity's resistance begin working in secret to weaponize it. The news spreads through underground networks, scientists, engineers, and fighters all scrambling to test and refine their understanding of the material. The trees, known only to a few indigenous tribes, grow deep in the Amazon, in regions untouched by modern civilization. The challenge now is not just understanding the wood's properties, but harvesting it in enough quantity before the Zeltrons catch on. Small resistance groups, operating under constant threat of discovery, infiltrate the rainforest to gather as much of the rare wood as possible. Each mission is dangerous. Zeltron patrols constantly scan the land for any sign of human activity. The resistance fighters must move carefully, hiding in the dense jungle, using old survival techniques, and relying on local tribes who have lived in the rainforest for generations. Guided by their knowledge, they learn how to harvest and shape the wood without damaging its strange energy-disrupting properties. At first, crude weapons are made: simple clubs, sharpened wooden stakes, and arrows tipped with the powerful material. In the first test attack, a small group of resistance fighters ambushes Zeltron patrol in the ruins of a once thriving city. Expecting the usual easy slaughter, the aliens are taken by surprise when wooden-tipped arrows pierce through their shields as if they weren't there. Clubs and spears shatter the once invulnerable exosuites of the Zeltron soldiers. The resistance watches in shock as, for the first time since the invasion began, the enemy falls. The resistance quickly refines their tactics. Wood from the rare trees is incorporated into bullets, knives, and even makeshift explosives. Secret factories hidden in underground bunkers and deep in the wilderness begin mass-producing weapons infused with the material. Slowly, small victories begin to mount. Zeltron soldiers, once untouchable, are now vulnerable. Their drones malfunction, their war machines falter, and their forces begin to retreat in areas where human attacks grow frequent. The Zeltrons are not fools. They recognize that something is changing, that their once invincible strategy is beginning to fail. At first, they assume humans have developed a new energy weapon or shield-breaking technology, but they struggle to understand the true nature of the Resistance's newfound power. In their arrogance, they never considered that something as primitive as a piece of wood could be their undoing. However, it won't take long before they realize the source of their vulnerability. If the Resistance doesn't act fast, the Zeltrons may wipe out the forests before humanity can fully turn the tide of the war. As Resistance fighters continue to win small but decisive battles, the Zeltrons grow desperate. Their once flawless strategy is beginning to fail, and their war machines are no longer invincible. Reports from across the planet indicate that something is disrupting their technology, but the cause remains a mystery to them. They know the humans have discovered a weakness, but they don't yet understand what it is. However, it doesn't take long for them to realize that the regions where their forces are suffering the most losses are those near dense, untouched forests, especially in South America. The Zeltrons shift their focus. If the humans are hiding something in these jungles, they will simply erase the jungles from existence. Without hesitation, the aliens launch a new campaign, one not of conquest, but annihilation. Their warships hover over the Amazon rainforest, releasing massive firebombs and energy pulses that ignite the land below. Towering trees, some centuries old, are reduced to ash in seconds. What was once one of Earth's most vital ecosystems becomes a burning wasteland. They assume this will solve the problem, that by purging the forests, they will eliminate whatever tool the humans have discovered. What they don't realize is that in their desperation, they have made their greatest mistake. As the flames rage, something unexpected happens. The trees, once thought to be merely a source of primitive weaponry, begin releasing thick clouds of spores into the air. These spores, previously dormant within the bark, spread rapidly on the wind, unseen by the naked eye. The Zeltron warships, hovering over the destruction, unknowingly absorb these microscopic particles into their air filtration systems. The spores infiltrate their technology, clinging to their energy cores and interfaces. At first, nothing happens, but as the spores settle within the aliens' machines, the effects become devastating. Within hours, entire fleets experience catastrophic failures. Shield generators flicker and collapse, leaving their once indestructible ships exposed. Their weapons malfunction, engines stall, and targeting systems break down. The same molecular properties that disrupted the Zeltron's drones in the jungle now spread uncontrollably through their most advanced technology. Ships plummet from the skies like falling stars, crashing into the very land they sought to conquer. On the ground, Zeltron soldiers suffer similar failures. Their suits, once their greatest protection, short-circuit and shut down, leaving them vulnerable to human attacks. The Resistance seizes the opportunity, launching an all-out counter-offensive. What was once a slow, tactical fight suddenly turns into a full-scale war for survival. The Zeltrons, realizing too late what they have done, try to retreat, but their escape is cut off as their own ships continue to fail. Panic spreads through the alien ranks. Their once unstoppable invasion force is now crumbling under the weight of their own actions. The same arrogance that led them to believe they were unbeatable has now brought them to the brink of defeat. Humanity, armed with nothing but an ancient natural resource and the will to fight, is finally on the verge of victory. With the Zeltron's technology failing and their forces in disarray, humanity seizes the moment to strike back. Resistance fighters, armed with weapons crafted from the rare alien disrupting wood, storm Zeltron strongholds. Cities once thought lost are reclaimed as the invaders' shields flicker and die, their armor no longer impenetrable. The very species that once seemed invincible is now vulnerable, fighting a war they were never prepared for. Panic spreads among the Zeltrons as their remaining warships, infected by the spores, become useless. Their command structure crumbles as leaders struggle to give orders through failing communication networks. For the first time since the invasion began, the Zeltrons attempt a full retreat. What was once a campaign of total domination becomes a desperate escape mission. Those who still have functioning ships flee into orbit, abandoning their fallen soldiers and wrecked machines on Earth's surface. But even in space, they are not safe. The spores, having already spread throughout their fleets, continue their silent attack. Entire vessels lose power, drifting helplessly in the void. Some explode as their core systems overload, while others spiral uncontrollably into Earth's atmosphere, crashing into the very ruins they helped create. On the ground, the last remnants of Zeltron forces are hunted down by resistance fighters who have turned Earth's forests into battlegrounds. The once mighty war machines that terrorized the planet are now nothing more than rusting wrecks, consumed by the very nature they sought to destroy. The aliens, reduced to small, scattered groups, are no longer conquerors, they are prey. As the dust settles, humanity stands victorious. What once seemed like an impossible war has been won not through advanced weaponry, but through an ancient secret hidden within Earth's own ecosystems. The remaining trees that contain the spores are carefully preserved, studied by scientists who understand that the Zeltrons may return one day. But if they do, humanity will be ready. The lesson has been learned: sometimes, the greatest weapon is not the most advanced, but the most unexpected. The Zeltrons fell not to nuclear warheads or laser cannons, but to a simple stick, an overlooked force of nature that shattered their perfect military strategy. As the world begins to rebuild, the story of the war spreads. Historians and survivors tell of the moment when humanity, against all odds, fought back and won. And at the heart of it all is a lesson no species should ever forget: never underestimate the power of the smallest things.